What's up, guys? Today I'm going to be doing something very, very important and productive for society. I'm going to be using tiermaker.com to rank some popular stuff, some different stuff. This idea just popped into my head. I was going to go on this website anyway, but I was like, hey, the people might want to see this. The people might want to see my special takes. So we're going to start with cereal. Best cereals tier list maker. Let's go ahead and get started. We've got a lot to choose from so far. All of these are some very popular American childhood cereals. Not even childhood, still to this day, present day, I still eat these. We've got some horrible ones on here, and we've also got some really good ones. Starting with Apple Cinnamon Cheerios, which I've never actually had. I've only had regular Cheerios, Honey Nut, regular. I've also had Frosted, but surprise, surprise, I think Cheerios are healthy, of course, but, you know, not my favorite. I gotta be honest, they are not my favorite, especially when it comes to the options. Just the options, there's so many better options. There's so many other flavors too. Like, why eat Apple Cinnamon Cheerios when you could just eat some Apple Jacks, you know? So for this one, I'm going to have to go D tier. Our next cereal that we have is Cookie Crisp. I used to fuck this one up when I was little. I'm definitely gonna have to go... It's one of those cereals that only taste good when you're a kid, because I've had them recently, and while they're not horrible, I get some cuts. I get a lot of cuts in my gums and in my mouth whenever I eat these. I'll eat an entire bowl of Cookie Crisp and then I'll be tasting blood after because they just cut up my mouth so bad. So we're gonna go B tier on that one because, you know, it's a good flavor, good amount of sweetness. It's just them, they'd be cutting up my gums, and I really don't like that. Special K is also gonna be D tier. Just, I didn't grow up on that. I don't really see what could be appealing about that personally. Yeah, that's just my opinion. Kix. My family used to get this one a lot, and I would always add sugar to my Kix. I ate it whenever it was there, but I would never just pick it out of the store, ever. I mean, like, yeah, it's healthy, I think, but we're gonna go C, because they're good whenever you eat an entire handful and just shove it in your mouth. They can be good. I'm not the biggest fan of them. We're pumping it up. We're pumping it up a little bit. We're pumping it up with the Apple Jacks. Apple Jacks, I don't think I need an explanation for this one. We're gonna go S tier. It's always been one of my favorite cereals. I remember the infamous day when I was 7 years old. I had 7 bowls of Apple Jacks in one sitting. I think I finished the box. But yeah, Apple Jacks are definitely S tier. And then they also made Cinnamon Jacks, or like a cinnamon cereal, back in like 2012 or like 13 or something, with the Cinnamon Man. He had his own cereal, and that was really good too, but I guess they like stopped selling it because it didn't do that well. But I know my Apple Jacks lore. Corn Flakes, we're gonna go okay, so with Corn Flakes, the good thing about those is that they're really made so that you can add stuff to it. I used to add bananas to my Corn Flakes. That shit used to hit, I'm not gonna lie. My grandma would put like canned fruit in them. So there is potential, but like flavor alone, they taste like the box that they come in my opinion. I just don't see how people can like live a happy life while eating cornflakes just straight out the box. I'm not a fan, so for this one I'm gonna have to give it C tier, because there is potential if you add fruit, if you add anything else to it, even just sugar. This is very unhealthy that I'm thinking about adding sugar to everything, but cornflakes, there is potential, because with bananas it's really good, so I'm gonna give it C tier. Captain Crunch with no berries, we can put B tier. We can put B tier because, again, it cuts up my mouth a lot, but there is potential. Captain Crunch, you can't go wrong with it. It's pretty good. Rice Chex, D tier. I'm sorry, I just can't eat like straight grains. I'd rather just eat oatmeal or something. I just can't be eating straight grains for breakfast. It's just peanut butter Captain Crunch. My grandma used to stay having this in her kitchen. She used to have this. Nobody would really ever eat it, but I remember always seeing the box in her kitchen. We're gonna give this one C tier because it's not horrible, but I would never just, like, nobody ever picked it out. Nobody ever picked that cereal, but it was always there. So, you know, maybe on a very rare occasion, it would be nice to eat, but, you know. Honey Bunches of Oats with almonds, I still eat this one to this day. Has a nice crunch, has a nice mixture of textures going on. It has a nice flavor. Some of the pieces aren't sweet, and then some of the pieces are, and then you get pieces of granola You get that good mix of everything. And I grew up eating this one. I've been eating this one since I was little, so I'm gonna go A tier on Honey Bunches of Oats with almonds. It's really good. There are ones that are better, personally. Rice Krispies. I used to eat this when I was little, and I would pour them, like every time I would pour a bowl, I would just put it up to my ear because they used to like, that's what they used to sound like in the bowl. And I feel like that was more exciting than eating the actual cereal because there really is no flavor. TBH, there really is no flavor. So we're gonna go C tier because a lot of the C and D tier just don't taste like anything. They just taste like the box, and I'd rather load up on sugar. I'd rather load up on a whole, like, I'd rather eat a bag of sugar than like eat a bag that tastes like the box, you know? Cinnamon Toast Crunch, S tier.
S tier. S tier.
I don't think anybody disagrees with me. I don't think anybody could ever disagree with me on that one. Especially the milk after, like whenever you have Cinnamon Toast Crunch and then it soaks and you eat all the cereal and then you have the cinnamon milk left. It is so good. It is so good. So yeah, definitely S tier. I don't think I have to explain myself with this one. Frosted Mini Wheats, D tier. Those are nasty. They don't hit. Okay, Frosted Mini Wheats, disgusting. They taste like Triscuits. I think they are the same thing. Not Triscuits, Wheat Thins. I don't like Frosted Mini Wheats. Now, Honey Nut Cheerios. Honey Nut, okay? Y'all remember that commercial when Nelly was in the Honey Nut Cheerios commercial? That used to come on all the time. Just for that reason, we're gonna put Honey Nut Cheerios at A tier. You know, they're very iconic. They're actually pretty healthy. I think the original ones are healthy, not the Honey Nut. I can get down with them. The milk also tastes pretty good whenever you're done with them. Now we have Reese's Puff. Reese's Puff. I'm not gonna lie, the commercials for Reese's Puffs used to be, I used to just dance. Like, I can't lie. It made a lot of people bust some moves, okay? As far as actual flavor, they tasted a little bit weird sometimes. But it does taste like my childhood. It tastes like being a kid, so I wouldn't eat them now, but I used to scarf them down back in the day, so we're gonna go B tier. And then regular Cheerios, I think that one's gonna go to D tier because it's one of those things, again, it just tastes like the box. Like, I'm okay. Lucky Charms, unpopular opinion, I don't like the marshmallows in them, and I don't like the little brown pieces. I just think we could have went better. We could have added something else to make it taste different, have a little bit of a different texture. I don't like the way that the marshmallows feel on my teeth as I'm biting them. It feels like chalk a little bit, and it makes my teeth feel tingly whenever I eat them. I'm not really the biggest fan of Lucky Charms like that. So just for that one, let's go C, because I wouldn't willingly just go to the store and be like, I want some Lucky Charms. I'd rather be like, yeah, I want some Cinnamon Toast Crunch, you know? Cocoa Krispies. Cocoa Krispies are good, but Cocoa Pebbles are better. You know, Cocoa Pebbles are very, very chocolatey, and then the Cocoa Krispies are a little bit like, it's like more like chocolate rice, you know? So Cocoa Krispies, we're gonna put them both in B tier, Cocoa and Cocoa Pebbles. We're gonna put them, actually no, Cocoa Pebbles is A tier. What am I talking about? What the freak am I talking about, okay? Cocoa Pebbles is definitely A tier. They get a lot more chocolatey. The milk gets so rich and chocolatey, and it's just such a good flavor. It's such a good amount of chocolate. It's such a good texture whenever it soaks, whenever it's fresh, whenever it's crunchy, whenever it's soggy. Everything about it is just perfect. And then Cocoa Krispies, you know, we got a little bit more flaws with that one. We got a little bit more like of a texture issue going on because the amount of chocolate doesn't match the texture of the cereal. So it's like you have a lot of rice going on, but not a lot of like chocolate. And I don't like how, this happens with Cocoa Pebbles too, but it's not as bad. I don't like how whenever you're eating Cocoa Krispies and you're finished with them, you can never get like the last 4 or 5 pieces because they always just spread around. Unless you drink all the milk and then scoop it up and eat it that way. But I feel like that's just too much work. I feel like a dog, like with those little food toys, the peanut butter toys, like I'm not trying to do all that. I just really think it's annoying whenever you're trying to finish the bowl and you have those 5 pieces that won't stop floating around. Next up is Fruit Loops. I don't eat them enough for them to be S tier. They've never been S tier to me, but definitely A. Definitely A. It's a classic, it's a staple. We got some like good desserts with Fruit Loops. We got some good like ice creams, some good snacks, some good like those little cereal bars. Okay, those are pretty good. And then they're good as its own cereal with the milk and everything. They're good dry. I just don't really think they're good enough to be S tier. I've always picked Apple Jacks over Fruit Loops any day. So yeah, Raisin Bran next. Fruity Pebbles. It's similar to Fruit Loops. It's one of those cereals where it's more popular for the desserts and snacks that are made out of it versus the actual cereal. I still think it's really good. I still think they're really good. The milk is good. I prefer Cocoa Pebbles. Sometimes they can taste a little bit weird. Like they have like a little bit of a weird like artificial flavor to me. They're good with like ice cream and stuff. I think I'm gonna go B tier because they're not bad. They're just not amazing to me. A lot of people really like them though. So like I respect that. I actually respect it. It's just personally not my jam, not my cup of tea. They also have the Marshmallow Fruity Pebbles, which honestly sound like a heart attack in a box, but hey, you do you. Like, YOLO, this is our only life, you know, eat whatever you want. That's just my personal opinion, you know. I respect everybody that likes Fruity Pebbles. Cocoa Puffs, okay? That bird was psycho. They used to be really good back in the day. They used to actually be really good, and then they ended up changing the formula or like changing like something about it to where they're not as chocolatey. So back then they were definitely like A tier, but now they're not. But I'm just putting myself back in that time. Like I'm gonna be a little bit nice and I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt. Frosted Flakes. I haven't had a bowl of Frosted Flakes in a few years. Actually a very long time. I haven't had a bowl of Frosted Flakes in I think like 5 or something years. I really don't know. I haven't gotten them in so long. I can't remember the last time I had a bowl of Frosted Flakes, but they are really good when you put them in the microwave, okay? A bowl of warm Frosted Flakes is actually really good. So, Frosted Flakes, I'm gonna put at B tier. Because they're kind of like easy to forget. They're kind of forgettable. I haven't had a bowl in so long because like I just don't like them enough to keep buying them. Captain Crunch with berries. I don't really think I have to explain myself with this one. That's definitely gonna be S tier. One of my favorite cereals that I constantly buy. I don't buy a lot of cereal, but whenever I do buy cereal, it's always Apple Jacks, Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Captain Crunch berries, and maybe like Honey Bunches of Oats. But these are like a top three for me. So I'm very picky when it comes to my S tier cereals. That's why there's only a little bit in there so far. Raisin Bran is on here twice, but this one is Raisin Bran with extra raisins. Hell to the no. I know it's really healthy and it has like fiber and shit, but I think they are so disgusting. I don't like raisins, especially raisins with milk. I feel like that's just like an abomination to society. Who the F is doing that? Because my sister eats them, okay? If you have like stomach problems, I don't think, you know, like if you don't have a choice, like they're fine, I guess, but I would never, ever go to the store and just get Raisin Bran. It's such a horrible cereal. I think it tastes like cardboard and like the raisins don't even taste real. They taste like raisin impersonators. Like they don't taste like real raisins. It tastes like somebody just tried making raisins in a lab just strictly based on memory. And I don't like them. I think if you just had like cornflakes and added your own raisins to it, that would be better. I just went on a 5-minute long rant about Raisin Bran because that's how much I fucking hate them. Now we have Honeycomb. I also used to eat these when I was a kid at my grandma's house. We used to eat these a lot. That one's gonna be A tier for me. It's actually really good. It's just not that popular. Think whatever the hell you want, okay? Disagree or not, that is my opinion and I'm standing on it. Honeycomb is A tier. That is an A tier cereal. Now we have Trix. I feel like that type of cereal gives kids ADHD. I feel like that cereal makes kids bad and it makes them like go crazy, hyper bouncing off the walls. I think it's one of those things that should not be in schools. I think it's one of those cereals that should not be sold in schools. I think that we should have an age restriction on Trix. Maybe like 13 and up, like let's make them PG-13 because any little kid that I've seen eat Trix is bad as fuck. And they always have cavities. They always like, you know. So I think I'm gonna put Trix on C tier. It's kind of like Lucky Charms. Like, yes, I like a very sugary cereal, but that's just going a little bit too far for me. I used to eat them a little bit when I was a kid, but my parents like never let me get them. I would only get them at school for breakfast in secret. I think that should be in the dessert aisle. Like some of these, I think they should definitely be in the dessert aisle, not the breakfast food aisle, not the cereal aisle. Pops, I used to eat these when I was little, so I have kind of like a nostalgic attachment to them, but nowadays I don't like them that much. So I think I'm gonna put this one on B tier. I would never buy a box willingly. Finally, we have Honey Smacks. Personally, I didn't really like these that much, but my mom used to get them a lot. My mom loved this cereal. So like whenever there was nothing left, I would just resort to eating them. They weren't bad. It just tastes like old people. Like it tastes like something that old people would like. No offense, okay? I don't think any little kid would enjoy eating that. That one we're gonna put at C tier because it's something that I only ate whenever it was there, not something that I just wanted. I'm not gonna rank these just because I have never had them, and I feel like that would be dumb to rank them if I've never had them. Agree or not, this is my list, okay? Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I definitely will make a part 2 because there's so many options to choose from. I just didn't want this video to be too long. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll be back in a few days. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.